Hi guys, so before we get started, this video is completely off the wall. I had to just warn you of that because I recorded it once and then I thought that I deleted the file, so I recorded it a second time and then I found the first file. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to splice these both together because why not? So I hope you enjoy this completely bonkers countdown.
Hello, my legends, and welcome to another episode of Displaying Model Behavior. And today we are going to do the top 10 mistakes that new collectors make. I've gone to Facebook and I've put the word out to Marvel Legends UK, Marvel Legends Community, and Marvel Legends Community UK. The big three for me personally, for my Facebook Marvel Legends collecting groups. And this is the top 10 list of mistakes that new collectors make. And this isn't just applicable for Marvel Legends. This is for all action figure, nay, just collectors in general. And how do I know that these mistakes exist? Because I've made most of them myself. Now, with any kind of list video, I kind of always get the impression that like, I'm watching the person going like, who are you to tell me? That like, what makes you an expert? Well, nothing. I'm not an expert on collecting action figures. Who is? Probably a lot of you guys. But I have made lots of dumb mistakes and I've paid the price financially for them, but they've at least provided me with material for a fun top 10. So before we get started, first of all, I want to just show off. Look at this. Look at the insides. This was my Christmas present from Juanita. She sent it from Hong Kong. So it was posted in like mid-December and finally, a month later it's here and it's beautiful. At last I have a garment fit to be married in. This is just gorgeous. So this is my new uniform for my Marvel Legends reviews. It's wonderful that I have a girlfriend who embraces this nonsense profession of mine and just, all the love in the world. So this is just, chef's kiss. Mwah. Speaking of chef's kiss, oh my goodness, we've got some more channel art and check this out. From Carlo on Instagram. It's me! I absolutely adore this, Carlo. Thank you so much. Guys, I'm putting Carlo's information on the screen. Go check him out on Instagram. Such a cool artist. All the kinds of like genre picks that we all dig. I'm blown away by this. I love this kind of stuff. So as you can imagine, this is going straight up on the wall of fame. So guys, now without further ado, here are the top 10 mistakes that new collectors make. The first mistake that new collectors make is trying to get everything. And I'm guilty of this, as I am of all of these. And some of you might watch this and go, that's not a mistake people make. Well, I can attest at least one person has made it. I started off with my everything being just the Clone Saga related figures. Then that became just the essential Spider-Man mainstays. Then it was just, I'm just gonna get everything, and you can't do that. If you pick a genre, something in your brain goes, I have to get everything in this genre. No, you don't. My perfect example, Spider-Verse. Why do I need the ultimate Spider-Girl who appeared in like a couple of comics in the burgundy costume, which is just a nothing kind of figure? I don't need it, but a part of my brain is like, no, you do, because she's technically in Spider-Verse, so therefore you don't, Dave. You don't need her. Let her go. It's the same with Spider-Woman in the yellow and red costume. She's out there. That figure is out there somewhere, but it's like 50 quid now for an old figure that you don't really care about. Like, I don't even read many comics with her. Oh, but she appeared in Spider-Verse, so you gotta get a no. No, you don't. You can just get a representation. Spider-Verse is a perfect example as well, because I mean, come on, you've got from the actual Spider-Verse film, you got Miles, you got Gwen, you got Peter Porker, you got SPDR, and you've got Spider-Man Noir. There you go, boom, Spider-Verse. You don't need Spider UK, you don't even need Spider-Punk, even though he is actually a really good figure. But guys, just be happy getting like a core group. Same with the X-Men, same with the Avengers. You don't have to get everyone. The second mistake that people make is thinking you're going to get rich from collecting Marvel Legends, or any action figures for that matter. And as a matter of fact, I didn't make this mistake, because believe me, I didn't get in this for the money. I got into it for the women. But Don't think that you're going to hoard up these action figures and then retire on them. You're probably not. Some figures go up slightly in value, but like for every Juggernaut Wave Rogue, there's going to be a peg warming. I don't know, a peg warming figure escapes me at this point. But, don't speculate to accumulate. And also, just don't be a speculator. Don't be that guy who walks into the store and buys up all the figures so that you can sell them on eBay later, because you're the worst. I'm talking to you, but actually you're not watching this, because all the people who watch my shows are the awesome types of collectors. So when you see a new carded rogue come out, don't buy up several of them, because first of all, that makes it harder for everyone else. That's not being a team player. Secondly, it's not going to be worth much. You're not going to retire on it. So guys, don't think that you can huddle up all the figures and then sell them off and retire, to an island in the Bahamas. It ain't going to happen. Buy the figure because you want the figure, not because you think it's going to go up in value. Spoiler, it's probably not. Now, a big one for new collectors is, of course, filling in the gaps in the collection. That's what I had to do. I didn't start collecting till about sort of 2018 or so, and there was a lot to fill in. So what do? You go to eBay, and eBay can be great, and it can be the worst. So when you're buying secondhand from a private seller, you don't know who you're dealing with. It might be Ned Flanders or it might be Buffalo Bill. It could be either, and you don't know if you can trust the person on the other end of the computer. So guys, when you go to buy something from eBay, look at the seller, look at their ratings, look how many past transactions they've had, how much positive feedback they've had, because it sucks, because I like to think like I'm a nice guy, and I want to think that other people are nice people, and generally you all are. Everyone, generally people are good, but there are some a-holes out there. So sometimes if an offer looks too good to be true, it probably is. Or if someone's saying like, oh, hey, I don't have PayPal, maybe you could just give me your back. No. Always go in with a suspicious air of caution kind of attitude. If you do that, then you will cover yourself, and always go through like PayPal, goods and services, do all these sort of eBay backups so that you as a consumer and a buyer are protected. It's worth it. Speaking of eBay, that gives a nice transition to buying from people online, buying from private sellers online. And this is a big mistake that I've made in the past as well. In fact, most of these mistakes I've probably made myself. If an item says sold as seen, that means it is definitely either broken or missing accessories. That's something that comes up a lot when you're looking at a figure. The description will say sold as seen. And what that might as well say is, see if you can guess what's wrong with this. Because it will be. Because why else would you put sold as seen on there? It's going to either be missing an accessory, or there's going to be a defect, there's going to be broken in some way, there's going to be a paint scratch, something. Something basically says, buyer beware. And very often it's not that obvious. Case in point, I bought a secondhand Taskmaster, and the picture looked good as like sold as seen. Yeah, I'm seeing it look pretty good. It arrives, and then I just look at it, and I'm like, oh, his holster's empty. Ah, son of a... Yeah, so he was missing his pistol, and it's like, the seller wasn't dishonest. They didn't say that he came with a pistol, but they didn't say that he didn't come with his pistol. They simply said, sold as seen. So folks, watch yourselves. If it says that, then maybe even message the seller and be like, what do you mean sold as seen? Is there something I should be aware of? What do you mean by sold as seen? What is missing? What is gonna break my heart when I open it and go, oh, come on. Now guys, when we're talking about buying over the internet, of course, a huge one is international orders and the costs that come with that. Now, so many times, if you're based here in England, you will go online and you'll see on eBay or Big Bad Toy Store or any of these online places, you'll see that grail. You'll see that figure you've been desperate to get hold of, and it's like, oh, there it is. And oh my goodness, is that the price? That's so good. It's like, yeah, okay, I have to pay for shipping, but still, that's really great. It's not gonna be that good, because even if you calculate in shipping, you then have import charges, and that's where they get you. And it's only gotten worse over the last couple of months. And this also goes for people who are outside England ordering stuff from this country. You're gonna get stung big time. And I've learned the hard way. So yeah, guys, even though you might see that vintage figure you really want, that chameleon or that, you know, carded Vision figure, think about how much it's ultimately going to cost you. Because if a figure might cost 50 quid here and it's only 20 quid from the US, once you factor in the shipping costs and then the import taxes, which could be looking between like, you know, 20, 30 pounds, all of a sudden that little piece of plastic gets very expensive. All right, going now from buying to selling. This is a flip side kind of thing where you might want to be selling some of your figures. Maybe you want to free up some space. Maybe you bought something that doesn't spark joy, or maybe you just need a little more money to keep financing the habit. When you're selling figures, unsurprisingly, people will try to get as good a deal as possible. And there is nothing wrong with that. That's kind of the fun, I think, actually, doing a little haggling and bargaining. What you should not let people do, though, is give you the old sob story. Because jeez Louise, every man and his dog in this world has a tragic tale of how they have, you know, they couldn't afford this month's rent, and then their mother's sister's uncle's pet Cocker Spaniel has a sprained ankle and they need to pay for the veterinary bills. So could you just knock £5 off the price? No. People will say anything to get you to knock some money off the price. There are so many chances, and I'm like, there's nothing wrong with someone saying like, oh hey, you know, if I buy this figure but also this figure, could you do like a little deal and save on postage? Nothing wrong with that. But when you're offering a figure for a really good price, because that's one thing you should do. If you're on the Facebook groups, the whole point of like action figure Facebook groups is to try and like help out the community. The amount of really great deals I've got from people who are like, hey, I just want to make sure this goes to a good home and it's appreciated. There are just wonderful people. And then there are those guys who are like, this is a community who loves these products, these action figures. How much can I rinse them for? Or, you know, how cheaply can I get something? Oh, then there's the flippers as well. Oh my goodness. The people who will give you the real X Factor sob story, like your Simon Cowell, and they're trying to win your vote. And it's like, oh yeah, so they get all these products, you know, cheaply from you, and then they go flip them on eBay. Unbelievable, like the worst. So guys, if you are selling figures, know what they're worth, and don't let some Johnny Chancer tell you that they're going to buy it for their nephew who's like, you know, got some sad story, because I guarantee you, like, if someone is in that much hardship, they like action figures are the furthest thing that they need. Don't listen to it. If you're selling something for market value, which is pretty much just what people are willing to pay, don't let some chancer try and con you out of what you deserve for the figure you're selling. I'm just saying this because I'm a sucker for a sob story. You know, I was given all this blurb, but actually, like, I really am kind of a bleeding heart liberal. And I'm like, oh God, I just want to help somebody out, but I know that I'm the worst for it. So guys, don't be me, all right? Heart of stone, get what you're worth. All right, guys, the next mistake is all about displaying your figures, because we've bought, we've sold, we've gone online, we've got our collection. So how are we going to display them? The biggest mistake is not avoiding sunlight, all right? Pretend that your figures are like mushrooms that you're trying to cultivate, or maybe a mogwai that you want to keep safe. Do not let them get blasted by direct sunlight, because that sun will just suck all the color out of your figure and just bleach it until it's a pale little husk of what it once was. And it's like, oh, I used to be beautiful once. It's such an easy mistake to make, because also it doesn't happen quickly. It's a slow, gradual process, like the sands of time through the hourglass. And before you know it, you'll be like, that figure looks great. That figure looks great. What the hell happened to my figure? Or you won't notice it until you put one figure next to another and you're like, why is this red so sad and pale and lifeless? And oh, that's why. Yeah, no, I've done it. I saw my Hot Toys baking in the sun. I have like what is it? Like a sun rises in the west, north, east, south, west. Rises in the west, sets in the east. Rises in the east, sets in the west. Oh, whatever. My house faces the sun, is what I'm trying to say. So the sun blasts through my window and just bleaches any figures that are in its rays. So guys, you don't have to have your figures in morose darkness like some goth emo kid, but just don't have them in baking hot direct sunlight. Speaking of the sun, our next point still revolves around our bright glowing orange friend that's just warming up our planet and our action figures. Guys, figures do melt in the sun. I'm not talking like Raiders of the Lost Ark, blah, kind of melting, but joints will get loose, gummy sort of figures. I'm looking at you, X-Men Iceman from the Juggernaut wave. They will get soft and sort of malleable, and they will start to fall over for a start. That's the big one. That's the big one. They will start to melt and go soft in the sun, and when they fall, they will take out anything else around them. And that's the big point for this one. You've got to think about where your figures are positioned and what the worst case scenario is going to be if one of them falls over. You basically have to be like Ian Malcolm in Jurassic Park, being like, yes, and the drop of water when it rolls down the head with the contours of the skin, imperfections. Look at yourself and be like, okay, if that select Juggernaut falls over, what's it going to wipe out? My NECA Predators. Brilliant. That is going to end real badly because the select Juggernaut will win every time against the little NECA Predator who's probably looking up there like Woody in Toy Story going, oh please don't fall over. And so select Juggernaut's going to be like, this is happening. Yeah, so just think about how the bowling ball of figures will wipe out anything in front of them. And if a figure is delicate, rare, pricey, do not put it in the line of fire, because trust me, as Chaos Theory has proven, at one time or another, no matter how well displayed they are, your collection will fall over, and it's gonna take time to reset. Don't let it be a painful financial experience as well. My penultimate tip for this list is, if you're ordering online and there are some new figures coming out for pre-order and you're like, I definitely want these figures, no question, these are the ones I want, pre-order them. Because you just don't know what the distribution is going to be like or what the demand is going to be like. If you're kind of on the fence, then maybe take it or leave it. But if you're like, no, this is a wave I definitely want, this is a figure I definitely want, pre-order it, because sometimes people will snatch them up so fast. You know what I was talking about those speculators? Exactly. Case in point, the new carded Retro Rogue is a great example. I was like, do I want her? I don't know. I'll hold fire for now. And then instant online sellout. All those people who's, I'll not use rude words to describe, bought up a whole load of them because they were like, people want rogues. And then of course you went straight onto eBay and they were going £30, £50. It's like, damn it. And I didn't want to speculate, I just wanted to buy one, but then the opportunity was gone. So if you think there's a figure that you definitely want to add this to your collection, just go for it. Go on, treat yourself. And finally, guys, my last piece of advice is make a budget and stick to it. And that sounds probably really hypocritical coming from this guy. You're like, really, Dave? Tell me about your budget and how you stick to it. But don't be like me. See what I've become. Just these figures, as wonderful as they are, as beautiful as they are, they're luxuries. They're extras, they're not essential. And Gandhi will tell you that material possessions do not bring you happiness, except for you, Spider-Man, of course you do. So have your monthly budget, have your bills, have your rent, have your social money that you can spend, just enjoying human interaction. And then after that, then you've got your action figure budget. And that's what you gotta stick to. You gotta stick to your budget, because one thing you learn very quickly is, just one more figure, it'll never be satisfying. It will never be like, if I just complete this team, I'll be satisfied. If I just finish this wave, I'll be satisfied. No, you'll never be satisfied. So there's no point in going over budget, because it's not gonna be like, I'll just pay this little extra and then I'm done. No, newsflash, you will never be done. But that's half the fun. Or more to the point, not being in debt is the important thing. That's one thing I can say, despite the ridiculous collection that I have. I'm not in debt. And that's just wonderful. And that's also why my spending is about to curve down to a grinding halt, because I ain't got no money left. So it's like I have a stockpile of figures that I can make videos about now, because the new ones I'm not gonna be able to get. But it is what it is. But yeah, stick to your budget. Action figures are luxury items. So you only buy them as a luxury when everything else is taken care of, including personal hygiene, folks. Then you can spend your money on toys. And that's what I've done, and it's worked out pretty well for me. Although I haven't spent any money on haircuts, obviously. But if you can do those at home, then what's the problem? Guys, thanks so much for watching. And I want to know, because this was a fun little list to put together, what are your number one mistakes that people make when collecting action figures? Because I'm sure I have missed a whole ton. So comment below, let me know. And if you like what you see here and you want to see more, join the 6-1 Clicks by clicking the like, share, subscribe, and notification bell. And if you really want to support the channel, then go over to patreon.com/displaying model behavior, throw a few shekels my way, and you get some bonus content on there as well. And enjoy the Data Blast coming up now, the best stuff on Instagram, cultivated for your enjoyment. Check the names of the creators, go give them a follow because they do amazing work. And until next time, keep displaying model behavior.
Alright, here's the 411, folks. Say some gangsta is dissing your fly girl. You just give him one of these. Dissing your fly girl. Fly girl.
Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas. Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas. Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas. Oh, Dr. Zayas.
Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas.
What's wrong with me?
I think you're crazy.
Want a second opinion?
You're all so lazy.
Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas. Oh, Dr. Zayas.
Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas.
Can I play the piano anymore?
Of course you can.
Well, I couldn't before.
Dr. Zayas.